World on edge, Ukraine strikes deep into Russia, while Middle East ceasefire hangs by a thread. Script in recent days, the global battlefield looked calmer than it had just days earlier, but the silence was deceptive. Across Eastern Europe, long-range Ukrainian strike assets were already moving into launch positions. Across the Middle East, military commanders monitored fragile ceasefire lines established after months of devastating regional conflict. And beneath the surface of international diplomacy, military planners from Washington to Moscow were preparing for what could come next. The world was not witnessing peace. It was witnessing a pause. A pause filled with missiles, drones, intelligence operations, and uncertainty. Ukraine opens a new phase. The first major development emerged from the Russia-Ukraine war. During the past week, Ukraine conducted a series of long-range attacks targeting facilities hundreds of kilometers from the front line. These strikes reportedly hit industrial and military-related targets deep inside Russian territory, demonstrating an increasing ability to project force far beyond traditional battlefields. Military analysts immediately noticed a pattern. The attacks were not random. They focused on logistics, industrial production, and critical infrastructure supporting Russia's war effort. The message was clear. No location could be considered completely safe. At the same time, Russian air defenses were forced to engage incoming threats over wider areas than ever before. This stretches resources, it increases operational pressure, and it creates uncertainty across thousands of square kilometers. The drone war expands. What makes this conflict unique is not simply the number of missiles, it is the scale of unmanned warfare. Drones now operate as scouts, bombers, electronic warfare platforms, and intelligence collectors. Every day, both sides are learning. Every day, tactics evolve. Military planners around the world are studying Ukraine because it has become the largest laboratory of modern warfare on Earth. The battlefield now moves faster than traditional military doctrine, and that has profound implications for future conflicts. The Middle East remains unstable. While Ukraine dominated headlines, the Middle East remained dangerously volatile. Recent reports indicate that fighting between Israel and Hezbollah caused severe damage across parts of Lebanon, leaving thousands dead and over 1 million displaced during the broader conflict period. Although diplomatic efforts have produced a ceasefire framework, military commanders remain cautious. Ceasefires do not erase tensions, they merely freeze them. Every radar station remains active, every air defense battery remains on alert. Every intelligence agency continues gathering information. The region remains one incident away from renewed escalation. The Strait of Hormuz question, perhaps the most strategically important development of the week, involves the Strait of Hormuz. Roughly 1/5 of global oil trade passes through this narrow waterway. For months, the Iran conflict disrupted shipping, energy markets, and military deployments. Now negotiators are attempting to transform a fragile ceasefire into a more durable agreement. But military planners know that reopening trade routes is easier than rebuilding trust. Warships remain deployed. Reconnaissance aircraft continue patrols. Regional missile forces remain operational. The strategic chessboard has not been reset. The pieces have simply stopped moving for the moment. Why militaries are paying attention. The most important lesson from this week is not who fired the most missiles. It is how warfare itself is changing. Ukraine demonstrates the power of long-range precision strikes. The Middle East demonstrates the global economic impact of regional conflict, and both conflicts demonstrate the growing importance of drones, electronic warfare, intelligence networks, and missile defense systems. Future wars may not be decided solely by tanks and infantry. They may be decided by whoever controls information, sensors, and long-range precision weapons. The big question: so where does the world go from here? Will Ukraine continue expanding its deep strike campaign? Will the Middle East ceasefire survive long enough to become permanent? Or are we simply witnessing the calm before the next major escalation? Military history teaches one lesson over and over again. The most dangerous moments are often the ones that appear quiet, because while politicians negotiate, generals prepare. And somewhere tonight, in a command center illuminated by radar-burst screens and satellite feeds, someone is already planning the next move. What do you think is the most dangerous conflict right now, Ukraine or the Middle East? Let me know in the comments.